Hi everyone, today we are going to be tackling a very detailed page. I had been asked quite a long time ago actually to show how to deal with some of the more detailed pages in Lost Ocean by Johanna Basford, and obviously this would also apply to any other books with very detailed pages as well. My first tip is these. These are magnifying specs which I bought quite recently, and you can probably see they will magnify the page. You can put these over the top of a normal pair of specs, which is how I wear them, on top of mine, and use them for colouring the small details. It helps you to be able to see. So there's a little light on them as well. I'll just pop it on so you can see. So it sort of acts like a head torch and lights the page, which is quite useful. My son's going in and out in here. I'm not going to need the light on. I've got my strong lamp on, and as I say, the sun's shining, but that's quite useful as well. I haven't used it with the light very much, but I've used them without, so that's that. The only thing is, if you try and look up and look around the room, it makes you feel quite strange, so you have to get used to them. If you're not used to wearing something like a bifocal or a reading glasses, then it'll take a little bit of time, but I find them quite useful. So that's my first tip really. If you struggle to see, these were £20. It's not cheap, and they do charge. You can charge up the lamp using comes with a cable, USB, to charge it. So, and I don't know how long they're going to last or how they compare to other pairs. These are they're called Mighty Sight. They come with a case as well. I think they were who makes them? JML. I got them from Wilko. So that's those. So that's my first thing. Secondly, you're going to need a very sharp pencil to get into these little tiny details. Even though I'm going to show you a way to do it so that it's slightly less daunting, so we're not doing every teeny tiny detail, you still need to be able to get into these little spaces. So sharp pencil. So you don't want to use something really soft like your Derwent Light Fast or something like that. You want something that sharpens to a good point. I'm going to use Staedtler, probably my Design Journey, I suspect, for this, because I can sharpen them really well. They hold their point for a fair amount of time as well, make it a little bit easier. Right, let's get going. So as I say, Staedtler Design Journey is what I'm going to use. Now, I'm not going to colour this whole thing. Obviously, it's going to take a long time. But what I thought, because it's a repeating design, I'm going to do a section of it. Let's just pop... you know, I'll do this bit and this bit and this, you know, a sort of section, like a little slice of the pie sort of thing for you, just to show you how I'm going to approach it. Right, specs on, and let's get going. My gosh, that certainly brings it into focus. I do have to, because I use varifocals, I have to wiggle my head around to be able to see, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. I'm going to do this octopus first. I'm just checking you can see him in the camera. That's looking up is a bit tricky with the specs. I'm going to come in nice and close so we can see all the details. Now we see he's got these little pattern on his legs. We've got the eyes. Now what I'm going to do is just take my specs off because I can't see the screen and the paper at the same time. Which I'm going to do his eyes first, just to get those done, and because his eyes are going to be black, I think. So I'm going to find the black. It's number 9 for those of you searching as well. No, that's a super soft. I think I'm just going to go with the regular one. It's a little bit darker. This is number 9. And for the eyes, see, we've got the centre bit and the outside bit. That's too much detail for me. I'm going to colour the whole thing in black, like this. Now, if you're doing the whole page at once, which obviously I'm not, do all the other eyes as well. Could do the fish eyes too at the same time. I'm just looking, what have we got? We've got a fish here with an eye, and there. I'll do this one. You can just about see. Gosh, that's small. Struggling to see that. I should put my specs back on. Now these fish eyes are tiddly tiny, and this one. So I'm going to have to sharpen right away. Oh, there's my sharpener. It's walked away. Right, so I've got a really sharp pencil. I'm just going to go in there. Can you see? Yes. In there and in that one, like that. Now, I wouldn't normally do fish eyes completely black. And we've got our turtle. Which side are we going to go? This side. Do our turtle's eyes too. Now, I wouldn't normally block out an eye in complete black like that. But it's just too small. So that's what I'm doing. Right, let's get back to octopus now. We've done all our eyes. And what colour? I always struggle with working out what colour, excuse me, to colour an octopus. I've got no clue. Should we do in blue? Yeah, let's do in blue. I am going to go for number 33. Okay, it's a sort of quite a darkish blue. And just show you, I'm going to put a light layer of blue over our whole octopus to start with. Okay. Now what I'm beginning to notice about this picture is there are bits here which are just drawn in. They aren't an animal, they're just like a sort of almost a backgroundy bit that Johanna's drawn in. She's got to work out what to do with that as well. So yes, just blocking in the colour on our octopus, trying to make sure I don't get confused with the lines in the background and things, which is a little bit tricky. But as I say, it's not going to be too... Now, here is the edge of the octopus. Once you've done one, you'll find it easier because you'll know what you're doing. You'll know where it begins and ends because there's so many little lines and things. Now, tentacles, we've got one up here, or legs. They're not are they legs? Oh, I don't know. So we're just, again, just blocking it in with the blue. Now you could use fine liners for this, or pens, you know, it's quite small detail, so that can be helpful. They tend not to go through the paper, but you would want to test it first. In the back of the book there isn't a colour pencil test page or whatever, I don't think in Lost Ocean, but there is some pages at the back that don't have colouring on that you could use to just test your pens. Let's have a quick look. Like these, look, these pages. So you could just do a bit of a scribble somewhere there and see if it goes through. I tend to find that if you do one light layer it's okay, but if you keep layering up it can go through. So you just have to be a little bit careful. And it's usually fine, but obviously it would depend on where you are because different publishers have different paper, of course. It's getting hot already today. I'm hoping it's not going to be so. It's not forecast to be hot. I might shut this blind in here because it's letting the sun in. It'll warm up the room. This desk is lovely and cool on my bare arms though. But I've got a bit of a busy week. I've got one son home today. He's revising. And one's in for 2 exams in college. And then I've got, tomorrow they're both out for 2. One's got 2 exams, one's got 1. But they're both going in all day. And then Wednesday and Thursday I've got them both home. And on Friday one's got their last exam. One of them's got his last exam tomorrow. So I've got them home, but also I've got tennis starting. I'm a big tennis fan. And it's the grass court season. We always get a lot of TV coverage of because obviously Wimbledon, being in the UK, it's the big one that we all watch. So we had a tournament last week which I was watching, and our women, 2 of our British women got to the final, which was very unusual. The first time since 1977 that we've had 2 British women in the final of a main tour event. Okay, so we've got our octopus. Now I'm thinking about shadowing and shading. Because it's small, you might just want to leave it quite plain, but I quite like to just add a little bit to it. And I am thinking I might grab this black that we use for the eye, is actually the number 9, and do a few bits. So under here, I'm going to just put in a bit of shadow. Like that. And I quite like to do a little bit around these. But you really don't have to do this. If it's a daunting page for you, just leave it how it's been done without adding any more detail in. I mean, if you add detail like this in every one, which I won't be, I'm just doing this, he's the biggest bit, so that's why I'm doing it on him. You could be here all day colouring on, well, more than all month maybe. I'm just going to do those markings on the legs, just put a little bit of black over, because I'm quite quick, it won't take me long. I'm doing it quite roughly. It's small, no one's going to see if you go out the lines, unless they're looking at it through the special glasses. Don't let them. So yeah, I'm a big tennis fan, so I'll be watching that. It starts at 12. So I'll be, while I'm editing, I can watch tennis, which is good fun, because I can put it on, play the tennis on my tablet, you know, have it playing on my tablet. Okay, I think that's our octopus. I'm happy with him. Okay, let's go down and do the bits below him first. Well, we'll do one turtle. I think he's very cute. I'm thinking let's do a sort of brownish shell and then green main turtle. Yeah, let's use this one. Is that? Yeah, this is number 77. This is the tobacco brown. It's the really dark brown. What I'm going to do, just to ignore all the pretty markings. They're really pretty, Johanna, but it's too much. But I'm just going to try and make him a bit darker on this edge bit. So I'm going to just layer it over a few times. Like that. And then as I bring it up here, just a bit lighter towards the centre, because the shell will stick up in the middle. So if we can do it lighter towards the middle. Now I know on my last circular video, the fruit mandala from Rooms of Wonder, I then did I did a real-time colour when I finished it with some music. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be watching the tennis when I finish this. So you won't be getting that, I'm afraid. I will do it sometimes, but probably after the summer now. Right, I'm looking for another green. Sorry, the green. I want a bluey green. What have I got? This one, number 5, I think will be. It's actually just green, number 5. But I'm thinking for these legs, maybe be a bit darker near the shell, and a bit lighter towards the edge. Like that. Yeah, talking of Rooms of Wonder, I think I worked out, I've got about 4 or 5 pages left. So I've got a key and lock page left. There we go. That's all I'm doing for the turtle. This fish here, I'm going to do orange. I like doing orange fish. I'm not going to apologise for the fact that my fish are always orange. They just are. This is 24, which is actually called Scarlet Red, but in my opinion it's orange. And I'm going to go over with a light layer. If you think it's red, it's red. It doesn't, it's fine. We're going to make this quite colourful. So, and then I'm just going to do the fins in a darker layer. I'm not going to do any shading on the fins. They're just going to be all darker. Yeah, so I've got, what have I got left in Rooms of Wonder? I've got one of the shop type pages. I can't remember which one. I've got the mandala of the witches things, which I'm going to do as a video. Now this fish, let's do in pink. I'm going to do all the fish in a similar way. So this is 23, which is the Bordeaux. And again, light layer first. Yes, I've got a Kierna lock, one of the shops, the mandala with the witches things, which I'm going to do as a video, and the dressing table items 12 on a page, which again will be my next morning series, I think. There we go, there's our pink fish. Now these two littlies, should we do them in purple? Let's use the lavender. This is number 62. Just sharpen this one, it's really blunt. Oh, I'm getting hot. Oof. Same again, light layer. And then just a bit more over the fins. I'm not even going to do that one. Let's keep the same. Shell. We've got lots of shells because we've got one here, and then up here we've got a whole ring of shells. And I'm thinking maybe I'll do those in the same colour. The same as this fish up here is the same as that one. So I'm going to do it in the same colour. I'll show you in a minute, so don't worry. But let's get these shells. What colour? We need to pick a... let's use this. Hang on. What's it called? 43. Peach. Let's use the peach. I think it's almost a sort of corally colour. Oh, it's so hot. I'm having hot flush. I've decided it's not just the sun. Phew. Oh, I broke the tip, look. Now I don't think I'm going to try and make this base a different colour. I'm just going to plain colour it. These ones, just the same, look. I'm just going to colour it in. I'm not even going to... You could do that line darker if you want, but I'm just going to do all of them the same. And I think it'll give us quite a sort of nice consistent ring of colour all the way round. Let's just do these. I mean, it's nothing special. It's just colour, 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 colour. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to do that fish, as I say, the same colour. So this is the Bordeaux, again the 23 here. So what we did, just lightly colour. And then go over those bits like that. There we go, done. Now we have a starfish here. Now we could do the sort of sand, which is a nice bright yellow, but I think because that's probably quite close to the peach, I'm actually going to use the golden ochre, which is number 16. I need to sharpen him. I think he's a little bit further away from that peachy colour, and it's usually what I use for gold, but this time I'm just going to block it in. You could, if you want, do this in a gold pen, make it stand out, but I think it might look a little odd if it's the only gold thing on the page. So, well, you could use a gold pencil and then it wouldn't stand out quite so much. But I'm going over it a bit to make it so that it looks significantly brighter than the shells. Okay. Now we're going to move aside this side a little because we've got a few more items. We've got this crab. Now he's really, really complicated. So I'm going to make him as simple as I can. I'm going to use this colour, I think. It's sort of brownish colour. This is 73. It's the burnt sienna, actually. Okay. And I'm just going to go all over him in this and see whether I may not even detail anything because he's such a complex little chap. So I'm just sort of going to get the colour down really. I wonder how big the originals of these were. Sorry, I've got an itchy eye. Oh, you know, whether Johanna drew it really big or whether it was actually quite small and she used a teeny tiny pen. I wonder. This is quite an old book, isn't it? I wonder if she would even remember. Probably. Although maybe not, because it's not like I would remember every pen I used. Now if you wanted, you could go over some of it and make it a little bit darker, like I did with the octopus. I'm thinking I might just grab the black, the number 9, just do a couple of bits. I'm thinking maybe this bit here where we've got circles, I might just go over them, make them look a bit darker, and maybe put a little bit under here. There we go. I'm not going to do any more, I'm going to forget because I've got so much going on. Okay, and I've got more shells here. We're not going to do those. You know what's going on with those. What's odd, very odd, is that under this fish here there's a blank piece. Can you see? Under this one there's a shell, and there's a but the next fish around, which you can't see, there's a blank one. Okay, I haven't decided what to do with these blank areas yet. I think I'm going to do them in black. Maybe black pen though, but I'm not sure. I don't think I've got a black pen actually, a good one. Mine are all run out. I've got a Posca, I think it's nearly run out, so maybe I won't do it. Maybe I'll do it in pencil. Oh, excuse me. Right, we have got a fish here to do next, I think. Now, where should we go colour-wise with this fish? We haven't got any much green. Should we do a green fish? I think that would be nice, but go for a totally different shade to our turtle. So our turtle is a sort of bluey green. I'm thinking if we go with an olivey green, he'll look really different. So I'm going to go with number 57, which is the olive green. And just like the other fish, I'm going to start with a light layer. Like that, oops. And then over the fins, I'm going to put another layer or two to just darken it. And it makes it so much quicker if you use the same pencil, rather than swapping and swapping pencils, because it takes ages. And this is going to take a long time anyway. I'm not going to pretend it's not. It's going to take ages. You know, I've only got a few elements left, but there are so many repeating elements. It's going to take hours. This one is we've got, what's that, an anchor. So we need a silver. So let's grab a grey. This is 83, which is dove grey. Okay, you can use any grey. And again, I'm just going to block it in. Can you see? Yeah. Just checking. Now I'm a bit confused by what's going on underneath it. I've just gone miles out of the lines. Just pretend I haven't. I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to darken any bit. You could shade that so that it's white in the middle. I think I'll just do that. Sorry if you copied me. There we go. Just erase. I don't know what that is. I'm trying to work it out. I think... I think I'm just going to colour it in grey like it's part of the anchor. I've got no idea. Just going to do that. We have these, and I think these are like water splashes. That's how I'm interpreting it anyway. We've got a nice, what's that? What's that? We've got 35, which is turquoise. I think I'm going to do it in that. And ideally, I would fade them towards the outside. I'm going to try, but there's little ease. Now, until it's all done, I can't really tell whether I've got a good balance of colour on here and how it's going to look with the black. So you might, well, you would have seen the completed page because I put it at the end, at the beginning on the thumbnail. Got a tiny fish here. I think that is our last bit. I'm just looking first. Yeah. So what colour? Well, we've used We've used quite a lot of blue. We've used brown and orange as peaches with yellows. We haven't used a sort of bright red, so let's do that. Let's use the red. What colour is our number? Is our red number 2? Oh, I usually use 29 actually, which is the carmine red. I think it's a bit more red. I'm making no sense. I wish they were all printed on in white. It would show up much better. It's 29. Now it's a really... Oh, that's the fish's tail. Oh. I'm sorry if I made you all do it wrong. But hopefully you can take it back. I'm pretty sure that's the fish's tail. I'm going to make the tail darker. I can't see it properly. I've gone out the lines, haven't I? And the fins. There he is. So there is our completed little section. And that took, what, 26 minutes. Now it will be a lot quicker and now you've done it, a bit of it, because you know what you're doing. And you don't have to keep swapping colours. You can just do all the shells and then all the turtles, you know. You don't have to make that noise. And it should be fairly quick. I reckon I could probably get that finished in an hour or 2 maybe. But what I'll do is at the end of the video I'll put up the completed one and you can have a look and decide whether you like that spread of colours. You might decide you want a bigger variety of colours, you want to change some of the colours about, that sort of thing, and you will see it in the thumbnail anyway. But I hope that's helped you a little bit. So major tips, the specs and the very sharp pencils and not worrying about the detail. And I hope that might help you a little bit with tackling a page like this. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a really lovely day and happy colouring.